Hello beautiful community, welcome to this week's video. I wasn't sure if I was going to get this video done in time. The teenage boys are off school at the moment, and so they've been on the computer a bit more than what they normally have been. So I've found a time that they weren't around and I'm able to finish the video just in time. Anyway, I got this mistletoe some years ago from the Hobber family farm. I've collected quite a few mistletoes from there. They've got quite a few of the dead mistletoes on their farms. I've collected quite a few, and this one's quite a large one. It's been sitting in the shed for some time, and I'm using it for a special project. I was asked to turn a sphere from a girl that I went to school with over 30 years ago, Lisa Jane, and I have been Facebook friends for many years. She saw my woodwork pieces there recently and asked if she could buy one that she'd seen. And we met up at the Avenel market. I hadn't seen each other for well over the 30 years, and of course she hasn't changed a bit. I've probably got uglier and my hair's probably got greyer, but Lisa Jane hasn't changed a bit. After that, Lisa Jane asked if she could get a bigger sphere put into her new home that she'd built. It was a project that took me a little while because I wanted to make sure I did it properly. She wanted the sphere to have the resin colours of blue and gold, which we used a royal blue and antique gold for the colours. And once I finished it, I had it in the house for a couple of weeks just to make sure no cracks formed. And there was one or two little cracks that come about, and I was able to fix them up. Anyway, we met the other day at the Avenel market, and this sphere is certainly going to a good home. So once I put that mistletoe on the lathe, I used a roughing gouge just to turn it down to a form that I could put into a container. I used a popcorn container that I bought. I saw it at a $2 shop and I thought that'll come in handy one day. It's never had popcorn in it, but the mistletoe fitted into it quite nicely. I stabilised it with cactus juice, and it just fitted into the stove that I've got in the shed. I'm not sure what would have happened if I hadn't been able to fit it into that stove. I don't think I'm allowed to put any wood in the stove that we've got in the house. The cooks banned me from putting any wood in the stove or the microwave in the house because it stinks the house out. So I was lucky enough to be able to fit it into the shed stove. Once I've done that, I put resin in it, and the resin, as I said, was a blue and a gold. I forgot about it until I'd done it, but I find that the gold, or the antique gold, and also copper colours, they seem to float down and stay on the bottom, and so once I'd finished this, there was more blue than gold. There was a little bit of gold in some of the areas, but it was mainly blue. And with the resin, I found that I've needed to wear a glove recently. There was one project I was doing when I wasn't wearing a glove, and the chips from the resin was hitting my thumb, and of course it was cutting my thumb up really bad, and there was blood everywhere, and it certainly hurt. So lately I've been wearing a glove, and it certainly helped. And I think in part of this video you'll see the chips hitting the glove, and if they're hitting them at a fair speed, and so that's protected my hand. And I also made sure that there was no spiders in the glove when I put it on. So it did take a while to turn. I've got it turned into a sphere, and then the sanding took a little while just to make sure that I got all the scratches out of it, and then polished it up. So that's probably the last piece that I'll have for you this year. I think I've still got quite a few pieces of wood that I want to turn, and I'll show you those some stage. Anyway, I better go. The boys are wanting to get back on the computer, so I'll leave you to it. I hope you enjoy this video. See you next time. Cheerio.